Every day, thousands of animals are sitting in overcrowded shelters. They're not just lacking love, but also space and time. In the first half of 2025, 290,000 animals were euthanized. That's about 1,920 lives lost every single day. As you can see, animal shelters all over the country are being overcrowded. More pets are coming in rather than being adopted out. The people just can't commit to the long-term ownership due to financial struggles, time commitment, housing restrictions, and many more reasons. This is where Companion Care comes in. We at Companion Care are building a website called Community Companion that bridges the gap between animal shelters and people who can provide safe, short-term foster homes. Instead of pushing for permanent adoption, like most apps and websites are doing, we are making fostering more flexible and accessible, whether it be a weekend, a month, or a tele-adoption. At Companion Care, we're not just easing overcrowding, we're saving lives, one foster home at a time. Hello, I'm Ana Rodriguez, the CEO of Companion Care.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Siesenberg, the CFO.
We are trying to focus on two main problems, the first one being the overcrowding problem within animal organizations. In the first half of 2025, 2.8 million cats and dogs entered U.S. animal organizations. This is a huge amount, especially at the fact that there's only 13,554 animal organizations here in the United States. For our second problem, we are trying to focus on the lack of companionship within people. As you can see on the screen, there's different percentages which represent the amount of people within different generations that feel loneliness, with 67% being Gen Z and 44% being baby boomers. This also shows why we're going to try and target the younger generations instead of the older generations.
Our website can appeal to many people, but we are mainly targeting Gen Z and millennials. Meet Annie Lee. She is 27 years old and works in office jobs, where she often finds herself busy and stressed trying to manage her time and work so she can figure out how she can care for a pet.
Our solution is a website called Community Companion that bridges the gap between animal shelters with an overcrowding problem and people looking for a companion. Our website has many features such as feature urgent pet alerts, guides to help with the fostering experience, and community spotlights. We are charging $16 monthly for access to the website while also getting access to one of our care packages, which is the Bark Bundle or Cat Pack, which will include treats and a toy for your foster pet. You may be asking, what are our unique values? Firstly, we're foster-focused compared to other apps and websites that are pushing for permanent adoption, which leads us to our second value being flexibility, since we give our aspiring foster parents the choice when they want to foster, where they want to foster, and how long they want to foster. For our animal organizations, we're data-driven, giving them a unique dashboard for them to track information such as who's fostering with them and where the foster pets are located at. Lastly, we're easy to use compared to other apps and websites that may have too many colors, distracting pop-ups, and hard navigation.
Here we have two of our competitors, Petfinder and Politics. Our website, like theirs, would connect the animal shelters and work with them directly. But unlike theirs, our website would be easy to navigate and user-friendly, as well as foster-focused rather than pushing towards adoption.
Since our MVP pitch, we made many pivots. The main one being we changed our business model from instead of charging the animal shelters, charging the aspiring foster parents. We did this because not only are we making more revenue, but it allows us to get more viewers and consumers, while also feeling morally right to charge the aspiring foster parents instead of the ones who are putting so much time, effort, and money into these animals. We also had to change our ad so it was targeted towards our target audience, and then we also had to change our landing page so it was more condensed and had a better call to action.
We want to give thanks to our mentor, Kevin Lindsay. He has started up and supported many businesses within the Central Valley and has extensive experience as a mentor for Latino students. For our business, he helped with the ideation process for how we could generate more revenue, as well as giving us feedback and insight on how we could better understand our customers.
We decided to release our ad on both Instagram and YouTube, and altogether we got 10,778 views on both platforms, and we reached our target audience being Gen Z and millennials. For our marketing plan, step one is to increase our viewer count and build interest within our business by going out to events such as the one that the Central Valley Animal Center hosts and set up a booth to give information not just about our business, but also information about fostering in general so they gain more knowledge. For step two, we want to officially launch the website out into the public and then turn our viewers and then consumers. And then step three, we want to collect feedback based on our website and improve it so it's perfect for our audience. Now you may be asking, how do we know that people are actually interested in our business? Well, we decided to conduct a survey, and from the feedback we got positive input. First, we gave a description on our business and the features that come with the website, and we asked how much would people be willing to pay for a subscription, and about 27% agreed of the around the range of $16 through $20. About 25% said we should hire it, being about $21 through $50 plus, and about 46% said we should lower it, being in the range of $1 through $15. We also asked if we were to release Community Companion today, would people actually be interested in paying for a subscription? And about 76% said they would be interested in doing so.
We plan to get our customers by reaching out through social media or posting ads on social media, as well as going to community events. And for our animal shelters, we plan to reach out and offer partnerships. We plan to keep our customers by providing a support system as well as hosting more community events. And for our animal shelters, we plan to show them the results of our website and get them more recognition. We plan to grow our customers by later launching an app and hosting community spotlights, which would highlight key foster parents, and we plan to provide more support for our animals. Our subscription boxes would be purchased entirely on the website and would be delivered directly to the customer with the help of a software shipping system. Our TAM, our total addressable market, covers the United States. It projects a revenue of about $11 billion for 57 million units sold for subscriptions. Our SAM, our serviceable addressable market, covers the Central Valley for $33.8 million and 2 million units sold. Our SAM, our SOM, our serviceable obtainable market, with a conversion rate of 9%, projects a revenue of about $3 million.
For our investors, our proposal is $105,000 for 10% equity. We will be mainly using this for our startup costs, but my partner Jasmine will go more into detail about this.
Our startup costs are about $98,000, with the majority being spent in inventory, development, and marketing for our website. Our SG&A costs are about $430,000, with an even split between salaries, administrative, and marketing costs. The cost to produce and ship our boxes is included in our cost, which adds up to about $8.26. We plan to sell our boxes for $16, and that gives us a gross margin of about 48%.
For year 1 net profit, we will be making about $835,000, year 2 making about $894,000, and year 3 being about $972,000. For year 1 of our 3-year plan, we want to test the website with beta testers and then officially launch the website to the public. And while doing both of these things, we want to build local partnerships with California or animal organizations so that we are able to actually put foster pets onto our platform. For year 2, we want to expand to Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington and build partnerships out there in those regions, while also partnering with influencers within the pet fostering and pet communities so we get more viewers and hopefully more consumers. For year 3, we want to do a nationwide expansion while also ideating and releasing new kits based on different ages, sizes, and breeds. Lastly, we want to eventually release an app to our audience so that it's more easier for people to access, so we will start to ideate and eventually test out this app. For our exit plan, we want to sell our business in the future so that me and my partner Jasmine can continue on future endeavors.
Our key metrics for success would be to have a $700,000 profit within the first year, 140,000 subscriptions by the end of the year, or about 12,000 a month, and to expand out onto states in the West Coast. For social media, we want to have about 30,000 followers across all accounts and to gain 5,000 each.
Now, let's go back to a statistic I said in the beginning. In the first half of 2025, 290,000 animals were euthanized. That's about 1,920 lives lost every single day. At Companion Care, we believe it doesn't have to be this way. With Community Companion, we're building a website called Community Companion that helps bridge the gap between animal shelters and aspiring foster parents. We're empowering younger generations, busy professionals, and compassionate individuals to make a difference within these animals' lives. Because at Companion Care, we're not just easing overcrowding, we're saving lives, one foster home at a time. Thank you.
I kind of wanted to start off by saying this is the second team that's come with like a pet thing, and you guys did a really great job when it came to like, the emotion, that statistic in the beginning, and then just going up that again at the conclusion at the end was great for somebody who owns 3 dogs of my own. Could you guys go back towards the information on the shipping, on distribution? I was just curious for at least the first year, how you guys were going to leave the boxes, correct? How you guys were going to be shipping that direct to consumer. Are you guys going to go through FedEx or third party distributor? Are you guys delivering them like yourselves?
We were looking at shipping software, which would connect to FedEx or.
My only notes is your speaking is really quiet, and so it's really hard to hear from over here. So you just want to work on that projection to make sure that people in the back can hear. Otherwise, fantastic presentation. You guys both did really good. You were talking about and the use of statistics that Billy says was really strong.
On that same note, just because I've watched you so many times before, I want to say that you've improved a lot. So I'm really, really proud of you. And even in your articulation and how sometimes you take long pauses. In this presentation, it wasn't long before you're able to snap back into it. So I do see the improvement. So that's awesome, Jasmine. Like Billy said, the statistics in the beginning really told a wonderful story. I feel like this is the first presentation. I've also noticed a lot of eye contact, intentionally. So that was also really great. As far as the partnerships and leading into those, have you guys spoken or connected? Maybe I missed it. Have you guys spoken to any local animal shelters and have made contact with any of them regarding your guys' business plan?
We have tried to email different animal organizations and we never got responses back. So in the future, we do want to either go set up a meeting with them or an interview or even calling over the phone.
Yeah, I would say if you guys have the opportunity to go in person, I know a lot of these people are very understaffed and it's crazy in there. So yeah, if you guys have the opportunity to go in person, I think that would be a really good idea. And yeah, I think what stood out to me also so much was being so clear on who you're targeting. It being young generation, Gen Z. And then of course your guys' branding was very on point, so I really appreciated the branding.
So, this is really cool. I don't have any animals, and I was like, how could I just temporarily foster an animal? Because I'm gone a lot, so I feel like that would be a neat thing for people who don't want to have the everyday, cost of trying to house their pet, but they also want to have that relationship when they're their home. So I really like that. I also like how you guys did a really good job of circling. I like how you circled back to what you started at the front at the end, because it reminded us really of what really of the problem you're trying to solve. And I thought that was really powerful. I like that. It reminded me, it's okay, the numbers again, because that's startling. For 2 people, good for you. I don't know if you know me, I retired from this school, and so I've seen all these teams through the years. I've had a few of these people in my class. And for 2 people to be on a team and do all of this work and stand up there and trust each other, it was really clear that you guys had worked a lot on this, and I have to give you kudos for that, because that can be daunting to just have the 2 of you and not have that protection of a whole team of people. So good for you. I don't know if it would help your story, because it was a good story, but I was just curious, what got you guys into this problem? Was it from a survey, or what launched this as a problem you wanted to solve?
So I knew from the very start that I wanted to work with animals in general. And for me personally, I used to have my own dog. His name was Jax. He was a little husky puppy, but he just wasn't the right fit for our family, so we did have to give him away. And I feel like if we had a website or app that was just like this, that allowed us to find a pet that was truly for us, that was meant for us, that it would have been easier to keep that pet and not have the heartbreak of losing one.
I think that would be nice to weave into your story somewhere, because that really just builds upon that emotion and really gives us more of that personal connection with you, and it just even launches even more how much you guys really are into this project. So I don't know where it would fit, but it might be something. That's a great story. That would have got me right at the very beginning. It's oh, if I had, So good job, very good job.
Thank you.
I just found out recently that apparently in the South, people don't spay and neuter down in the South, so they have an overpopulation of pets in like Louisiana, Atlanta area, Georgia, and those kind of areas. So there may be something there, considering where you guys said you might want to launch, that may be something worth looking into because they have an overpopulation of pets. In the North, people spay and neuter and control the pet population a little bit more. I'm going to say a couple things really quickly. I wrote a lot of what I have here. I'm not really sure what you're selling. I see that there's a box, there's an app with pets. Are you providing pets and boxes, or just the boxes? So clearly, just and briefly, what are you selling exactly?
We're selling access to the website, which allows you the matchmake with pets, so you can foster with them, and then we also give the boxes out for people who are struggling and not knowing what exactly to buy or have for their foster pet.
Matchmaking, so you don't deal with pets at all? Not indirectly.
Indirectly.
Yeah, so you don't deal with pets, it's matchmaking. A person has a pet, a person needs a pet, you bring them together. All right, how much is the subscription again?
$16.
Okay, $16 a month, and how much are the boxes? Can you go back to that slide also? That shows the pricing. I might have just missed it, so I just wanted to kind of. Okay. And how much are the boxes are $8.26? The boxes are 16. Shipping is okay. All right, so that was a little unclear for me, like what, that you're actually selling these two things. It probably should be, broken down into at least one slide, two things, but that's a me thing. So that helps to answer that question. Go to the next slide that has the two charts on it. I think, and I'm going to say this for all teams, your administrative cost is too high. If you're looking at an investor who wants to invest in your business, that investor believes in the business model, what you're trying to sell. And if they believe in it, then that means they believe customers will pay for it. And if customers pay for it, then that means revenue will come. And that's how you get paid, by selling. So here, and this is for a lot of the teams that have been presenting lately, you're asking for the investor to pay you to live. And in a lot of cases, I think when you're starting a business, you can be a part-time entrepreneur or a full-time, but maybe in the beginning you don't pay yourself. You have another job while you get this thing to grow. Put more of the money into the marketing and the social media so that you get more awareness. If you get more awareness, then more customers buy, and that's how you end up paying yourselves slowly over time. But I think that's a big chunk to go to administrative just for paying you guys. And I made some comments about that in here. I think I like the branding. I like the messaging. I love that you guys, it seems like you cited your sources and did your research. Really, really, really good knowing your population. Can you go back to the slide that shows the crying guy? I just want to see.
Well, they didn't stop on my picture.
Yeah. So here, all right. So there's a lot of big numbers here that are all like in the 60s. And why did you choose just to go after one, like just Gen Z first?
We're actually doing Gen Z and millennials, and we're deciding to do them because from the research we've done, older generations, they're not typically able or willing to foster or keep a pet. So we decided to lean towards more younger generations, and also because we're a younger generation, so we understand a little bit about the issue more.
Okay. My last question, and the rest of my stuff is on here, because I need to know. So if you're matchmaking me and I'm paying per month, how long does the matchmaking go for? Am I paying indefinitely? Because I know you said you didn't want to make it permanent. How does that work? Like me adopting for a month, a week? How does that work?
You're paying the subscription monthly, but when you're picking a foster pet, say like today you were to do it right now, and you decided you want to foster that pet out for 2 months instead of 1 month, you would still be able to do that, but you would just have to pay the next month, so you can continue getting like the box that we provide.
And the subscription. Okay. I have a lot more questions on that, but thank you very much. I think the branding, the messaging, and what you're trying to do is really good.
Congratulations, you guys killed it. That was awesome. You're doing like night and day difference. A great observation. I'm not trying to add to it. I just want to say I see really big inroads, and I don't know when I'll see you guys next. Just a couple of pointers. You do this really well. Anna, right? Yeah, you do this really well. Is that you move forward. So Jasmine, just like taking like 2 steps forward and then like 1 step to the center would really help your projection. But your hand movements up front, your eye contact, you being able to rebound, I echo all of that is substantially better. And so good job for that. And thanks for putting up the picture of me. I forgot you asked for that. I was like, oh, I should have come in later. I should have asked to be here. Anyhow, it is what it's fun to be a part of this program. A few of the things I wanted to bring up, and we'll talk more about this later. So go back to how you guys are paying yourselves, just so I can share some other insight. And this is also for everyone here. So when you're thinking about,
I'm glad you guys put your mentor in your pitch deck. A lot of teams didn't do that. So
yeah.
I also want to thank you guys for actually putting your mentor in your pitch deck.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so when you're creating a business, part of creating a business is a corporation. So you're creating either an LLC, a limited liability corporation, or you're incorporated. Within that dynamic, you're going to be able to see, you'll be able to see a profit side of the business. That's different than the cost side of the business. So the cost could be everything other than what you're going to profit on. And then you have, then what the investors would want to see is like what's the operating cost? And then from that operating cost, how much are you retaining inside your account to be able to sustain that? And then that's how you're able to start receiving funds. So you could start receiving funds as quickly as day 60, day 70, showing that you have a momentum of the business going, because volume fixes all problems. And so being able to say like, hey, you have 100 folks versus 10 folks versus 1,000 folks, that $16 per month increment, if that's where you guys land, you're going to see that growth to it. With regards to the subscription, I don't know if we talked about this part of it before, but something for you guys to consider would be add an element where you're giving back to the shelter. So you're paying maybe $30 a month, and a portion of that is going to the shelter. And then bi-monthly, you can get these subscription boxes because you don't need a box every single month. So now you have a revenue stream that's constantly coming in that I know is giving back, and your newsletter could have tons of information on what you're spending the money on to be able to help these dogs. So there's more money for euthanasia to be able to happen in communities like Damien was talking about in Louisiana. So it could be like a national thing, right? Or you could develop a nonprofit within this organization, which we've talked about. This is very layered, but you guys are like way up here on your like capabilities, because this is a really high level business plan that I'm very excited about. So just thinking big. And then also, and this is really hard. I'm saying this, I know it's hard because I've had to do it. When I owned Rocket Dog, I remember talking to Gary and Bethany and Sarah and us trying to justify charging $1 more for one of our entrees. And we were always struggling. Well, where would we go as a family to go eat out? Would we choose Rocket Dog if it was going to cost us $100, or would we choose another restaurant if it was going to cost us $80? And we got stuck in that space, and it was a really dangerous place to be in. My learning from that was you never want to spend your money when you're coming up with your price to the consumer. Because for me, $16 doesn't give the value to your story. $16 is a really cheap investment compared to what your story is. Your story and your why you're doing this is massive. And so $29.99 a month could bring in more people than $16 a month, because you feel like you're charging double of what the cost is. And remember, those costs are going to vary based on the volume of inventory you're buying. So we want to make sure that that number makes sense, because you won't always have tariffs, but sometimes you'll have a tariff on product. And so we need to think about those things as you're growing this business. The profit, you guys, and go back to the slides later. Don't do it right now. Your profit and your key metrics numbers don't match. They're different numbers. So just make sure that you look back at them and I think the idea is bridging, maybe less slides or having a bridge slide that really like explains everything in one picture. So like explain like I actually added what Damien said, just adding something specifically like a slide that like points out exactly what your business does. And that's where I would share that story you have in the middle of it, right around where you're asking the investor for how much it is, and ask it right then, because that's your anchor, and they're going to be like, oh my goodness. Okay, I see that you're not, because I'm investing in you. I'm giving you $100,000. I'm not giving your business $100,000. I have no idea what your business is going to do. I'm investing in the people that are here, not your business. You're the one that's going to make the business work because you're passionate about it. So having that right around there is going to be your win. That's all. But good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted that's just scary to me. Let me ask a quick question just so I have clarity. When that looks like over 70% in paying you guys, what's administrative? When you say administrative, what kind of things are those?
Where are you seeing 70%? I'm seeing 31.
No, 30. That says salaries, and then that says administrative.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's like over 2/3 of your business in paying people, unless administrative is. I can say what I think it is, but what is administrative?
The rent for our warehouse and
Insurances, cost for the business.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that you're defining that, because that's something you want to make sure you can clearly define what those things are. Maybe not showing it here, but that you all know what it means on the inside. Okay, perfect. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you.